Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Applegath, and welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. Our goal with this show and company is to bring you trailblazing women from around the globe to share their ideas, their knowledge, resources, and inspiration to help you transform your dreams into epic success. Today's epic female entrepreneur is a lifelong pioneer, innovator, and best-selling international author, Jackie Lapin. Her pioneering spirit began with her award-winning career as one of the first women sports writers in America. This led her to create one of the largest and most successful sports special events, cable, TV, and PR agencies for 20 years with world-class clients. Her instincts for identifying and filling a need are the reason she is a trailblazer in her field today. The founder of SpeakerTunity, the speaker and leader resource company, Jackie has created a company dedicated to helping authors, speakers, and changemakers find speaking opportunities in their market. Known as the go-to authority on getting clients booked and delivering their message on multiple platforms, Jackie's company helps leaders, authors, coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs connect with their next raving fans and followers. SpeakerTunity also provides strategies, guidance, and direct leads through additional training programs and assets that help get change makers booked for speaking engagements, radio shows, podcasts, and virtual summits, TEDx events, and virtual networking across America. The bottom line, SpeakerTunity is the ultimate speaker's toolbox. Jackie's internationally acclaimed conscious media relations radio podcast tours have helped nearly 200 leaders, filmmakers, and authors grow their businesses, sell more books, create viewership, and change more lives by introducing them to up to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts, including such clients as Don Miguel Ruiz, Dr. Joe Vitale, Denise Linn, Arielle Ford, Hay House, and so much more. SpeakerTunity is poised to be the hub for all leaders and entrepreneurs who want easier ways to get booked on more stages faster with greater impact. Welcome, Jackie. How are you today?
Jane, I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you so very much for inviting me and for that beautiful introduction. I'm really grateful.
Well, you're so welcome. It's all you. So you've had such an illustrious career. I mean, really, you have started in sports and broadcasting and taken your skills and your knowledge and have created this incredible platform, which personally I believe every entrepreneur needs to know about. The inspiration and the vision for your journey. You wrote a couple of international best-selling books. Tell us about your books and how the process inspired you to what you're doing today.
Well, I had come to a point in my PR career when I owned my agency. I had one of the largest sports special events, cable TVR agencies in America. And the media really was changing and it wasn't much fun. And simultaneously, I really got called to write these books, The Art of Conscious Creation, How You Can Transform the World, and Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. And that last book was the best spiritual book at the International New Age Trade Show. But in doing that, I realized that there was this band of media that really loved content and was looking for more, whereas mainstream media was putting up its hands and saying no more. And I really wanted to serve the messengers of the world that were making the world a better place. And so when I completed my own books and I'd done this radio media tour for myself, and I think I did close to 100 interviews, I'm thinking to myself, that's the audience I want to serve. That's who I want to support. That's the media that is crying out for more information. And so I rebranded my company as to Conscious Media Relations. And that's why we started down that path. And of course, then people started asking me, well, can you book me for speaking engagements? And I'm going, I don't want to do that, but I know where they are. So why don't I just tell you? And that's how SpeakerTunity, the other brand, was born. And we continue to go down the path of having both of those companies, Conscious Media Relations and SpeakerTunity, serving this market of people who are change makers.
Your timing is absolutely spot on. You know how they say timing is everything. From all that you've learned over your years and now bringing that together, especially since what has happened in the world, we are now more than ever wanting to be on these digital platforms that you have honed and created a list of possibilities for speakers all around the world, which is fabulous. Now, what has been your motivating factor for choosing entrepreneurship? Because in your background, I noticed that you're somewhat of a serial entrepreneur. So there must be something in your heart that says, I'm going to do this myself.
Well, it's in my genes, actually. My
Okay.
father was an entrepreneur, and all of his life, or actually much of his life, and he was passionate about it. And I saw the joy that he experienced in it. And I'm just one of those people that I don't do well with bosses. I am my own person. I live from an inspirational standpoint of taking the guidance and the direction that I'm being given, and I'm following that through. And even, you talked about the fact that I started out as a sports writer. Well, at the age of 11, I wanted to be a sports writer, and I put two things I love together: baseball and the LA Dodgers and writing, and came up with that. So I have never followed the traditional path in anything I've ever done. I have always been driven to listen to that inner voice that tells me this is where you need to go. And so you can't work for other people effectively and have that mindset. I've been an entrepreneur at heart from the day I was born.
Well, like you said, it's in your genes, and a very successful one at that. So with that in mind, the question I have next is entrepreneurship for everyone? And what piece of advice would you give someone who is considering moving into that realm? Because there are quite a number of people who are shifting now in their way of work, whether they've been furloughed, laid off, or maybe just had the space to reconsider what they've been doing with their life.
Well, I'm not sure that everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. I mean, some people are better at sitting and taking orders from somebody else, and they want to limit their lifestyle involvement to just showing up and doing 9 to 5 job. But those of us who are creative, those of us who have more to give, those of us who see a vision, we are driven to be entrepreneurs. This is where our heart belongs. And if I were going to give somebody advice, it would be what I've more or less followed, which is follow the universe's breadcrumbs. Figure out what impassioned you, and watch what opens, what the opportunities are, where there's a void. Listen to what people are saying to you. Mm-hmm. Like me hearing about a dozen times, more than that, it was probably 24 times, people saying, can you book me for speaking engagements? And I'm thinking, okay, why are you not paying attention to this? The universe is hitting you on the head. Go do something about it. And so there are always clues. The universe is saying, okay, one of the products we created was during this pandemic. We created a virtual networking directory, because virtual networking is everywhere right now, and people are trying to figure out which ones would I go to, and how do I find the ones that are right for me. So we gathered up 200 of them, and 50 for women, and just put them all in one place, because it occurred to me that people could use that. So if you're watching what's going on in the world, if you're seeing what's happening in your industry, if you're sensing people's needs, that's where you step in.
Be aware and be open. That's so vital for sourcing out what people might need, and then also being aware of where the gaps are in a marketplace. And so well put, because like you said, the universe was sending you a message, and people kept asking you, where do I find this? And the virtual connection is, I don't believe it will turn backwards. I believe that we have stepped full full force into the virtual platforms. And I think what it's done is it's really opened the world, even though we had that capability before. But now that we have individuals like yourself and your company that can provide us with the means to resource where we need to go, it's absolutely fabulous. So the entrepreneurial formula, is there one to being a successful entrepreneur?
I think there are a couple of things. The first thing is live in your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And don't try to do things because you are pressed to make decisions that may go against your choices, your own integrity. That's been the biggest thing for me. And deal with the problems in a kind and compassionate manner rather than running away from problems. That's really an important one. You need to face them head on in ways that you resolve them or choose not to go forward with somebody, but do it with kindness and thoughtfulness and grace in doing that. And I think if you do those kinds of things, that you will be guided onto a path that will open doors for you. The formula for me is check in with myself about what I think is the right thing to do, stand up for myself, but do it in a kind and compassionate way, and then move forward. And that's the important thing. Don't sit around and dither. You have to move forward. And when you do, the doors will begin to open. And if that's not the direction that you should be going, you'll sense it pretty quickly. So don't keep banging your head against the wall. Do what we all learned to do this year, and that is pivot.
Pivot. Yes. The ultimate word for 2020, pivot.
Exactly.
But certainly you hit the nail on the head. By taking the action, we can then reassess. If we don't take any action at all, if we just formulate and contemplate and reassess, nothing happens because we don't know if that's the right path. Like you said, it's okay if you take the action and then you realize, hey, there's something else over here, but without taking that action, you might not have found the something else over here. So yes, absolutely, Jackie, I agree with you. Taking action is paramount. Once you have that clarity, you're in line with your values, which I heard you say, because integrity is very important. And therefore, that is something paramount to you in running your business. But absolutely, we need to take action. Now, the innovation of SpeakerTunity, I know you touched a little briefly on that, but I wanted to dig a little deeper because this is the very first resource that gives speakers, experts, authors, and entrepreneurs exactly what they need. Visibility, but there's a lot more to that. So if you could unpack that a little bit more, that would be great.
So we started with one product, which is SpeakerTunity Speaker Leads, which is a subscription service that gives people 120 leads a month. And it's really for a transformational leader. It gives them things like local meetings and conferences and TEDx's and spiritual centers and a variety of things that really are great for somebody in that genre. I mean, including bookstores and retreat centers. But some of our clients came to us and they said, well, we not, and this, by the way, that product has leads all over North America. And some people came to us and they said, well, we love this, but we really want more leads in our own market and we want more business driven leads. So we then created something called SpeakerTunity Cities, which is regional speaker lead directories that give leaders up to 2,000 speaker leads in their very own market. And what's really lovely about this is it has 4 categories: business, which is subdivided into 55 industries, ethnicities, and gender; service groups, everything from Rotary to Seroptis to kin clubs in Canada, to then all the places you touch the consumer: moms groups, parenting, health and wellness support groups, seniors, LGBT, military, other special interest groups, bookstores, libraries, and hospitals. And the last is spiritual: Unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, and faith-based groups. So that was a great innovation. We've just, launched it because we will have 72 directories by the time we're done across North America. So trust me, you're going to find a ton of stuff either within driving distance to do in live events or virtual, because many of them have stayed virtual and will continue to stay virtual. And then, of course, we realized that now you can speak anywhere in the country. You don't just have to drive to a speaking engagement. So we're innovated something called SpeakerTunity Specialties that'll launch in June. And that will give you just your niche. So if you just want your niche, whatever it might happen to be, women's business meetings, healthcare professionals, real estate people, entrepreneurs, you'll be able to order your own niche for all of North America. So those are the kinds of things. And then, of course, radio and podcasts are just so important. So we not only have a product that gives you 40 radio shows and podcasts every month that are life enhancing radio shows. That's kind of more along the personal growth space. But we now have a product called SpeakerTunity Radio Insider for Business, which gives you 40 radio shows and podcasts and videocasts that are B2B, that are strictly B2B if you want that marketplace. So, we've looked at different ways to parse information. And the other product that we have that's really great is SpeakerTunity Summit. So if you're looking for virtual summits that have open guest presenter seats, nobody else has ever put them all in one place. So we do that. And we also have giveaways that are looking for joint venture partners. So we've tried to bring it all into a simple and easy, accessible. And the last thing that we added was TEDx, because people always want TEDx. But if you go to the TEDx website, it is a headache to wander around. So we've got it all on a spreadsheet, so you can see what's close to you, you can see what's gone live and what's gone virtual, you can see what's coming up date-wise. And so those are the directories that we have. And that's really been the core of that. And then we realized that people needed more support. They needed to have an idea of how to book themselves. And that's where we created 2 e-courses, one called The Art of Filling Your Speaking Calendar and the other called Rocket Your Radio and Podcast Bookings. And then the last thing that we did that we're really, really excited about is we've created a service that will design your speaker one sheet or your podcast introductory sheet. So if you're trying to get on any of those and you want to have a beautiful, professionally designed sheet, all you have to do is pick from a template, pick colors, and then fill in the forms. And you don't even have to think about, well, what do I have to give them? Because we tell you what to give us. So that's just the basis. And we're going to continue to add almost a product a month at SpeakerTunity, because as the speaker and leader resource company, we want to be in the place where everybody can come to get everything they need in the speaking area. We don't teach you to speak. That is, we leave that to other leaders. We just help you get booked.
Wow. You are the vault. If anybody wants any exposure, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's podcasting, if it's summits, if it's virtual presentations, if it's on stage, if it's TEDx, you are the vault. I mean, anything and everything. And over and above that, you provide the tools that individuals need. So an individual like myself would go in there and pick my niche now, my market, my niche, and select certain names. And what you provide, I believe, is the contact information, the phone numbers, the emails, the websites for these individuals that are doing these speaking engagements, whatever it might be, podcasting. And then due to your services, I have the one sheet that I can send them so that, and this is so vital, everyone who is serious about their business, who wants exposure, needs to get a one sheet. A one sheet, I even had to Google it because I wasn't sure what it was. And it really is your calling card for getting exposure and visibility. And that's what Jackie's SpeakerTunity, it's one of the tools that they offer, but so vital. When I found out what it was, I was right away, I said, I have to get myself one of these. But it's wow. It really is quite amazing, Jackie, what you've been doing and what you're doing, continuing to do to break it down even further, to make it more accessible and user-friendly for individuals and entrepreneurs. So, and also, there were other tools that I know you touched on, the one sheets, you do proposal letters. Is there any other tools you just wanted to mention briefly, or did we cover all? Because I did have.
There's a few more coming. So just
Okay.
all I can tell you is to stay tuned. And you go to the bottom of the page at SpeakerTunity, there's a form that you can fill in, and we'll tell you what the new products are that are coming up. But all of them, we also have something really interesting called the digital eBiz card, which was what you were talking about. And that is an interesting thing because you can, for example, say to your audience, whether you're on a virtual stage or on a live stage, and go to www.janeapplegath411.com, for example, and up will pop on their phone or on their device a very condensed summary of who and all you, what you are, with live links. In other words, and you'll have a video from you and your product lineup and your free offer gift giveaway and your not only your contact information, but your schedule link. All of that is so compact so that when you're standing on stage, they can actually be buying your book. They can be setting a meeting with you. So that's one of the other cool things. So as I say, we just keep coming with new stuff.
Oh, that is fabulous. You're right on. You are so in tune with the marketplace right now and what is what people need in order to get their visibility. I mean, honestly, that virtual, what is it called? Your calling card? I forgot what you referred to it as.
Digital eBiz
But
card for speakers.
okay, there you go. Your eBiz card. That is absolutely incredible. And you're right. If you're doing anything and you're speaking, you could just give them that information. They can pull it right up on their phone and automatically connect with you. My gosh, I got to get one of those too. I'm going to be very busy. So you have an incredible driving force and passion, Jackie. I can feel it. I can sense it just in talking with you right now and when we spoke earlier. And what is your mission in create? I know you spoke about it, but you have, nowadays we're always concentrating on building a business that speaks to our heart, but what is our why? So what was your why in creating SpeakerTunity other than there was that gap in the market?
My mission is to give the leaders who are changing the world more visibility, more opportunity. So together we can change the world faster in a positive direction. I know that, there's so much divisiveness in the world today. There's so many issues that are confronting us, but the more light that we can put into it, the more education, the more we help others lift themselves up, the more that this is going to be a better place. And so that really is what drives me.
That is beautiful. And I could see how this will definitely drive that vision. And one thing I wanted to mention to our audience is that you can feel that passion and you can sense that Jackie is sincere and authentic in her why. Clarity is everything. And when you have that vision, when you are so excited and passionate about your vision, there's nothing that can stop you. And all of what you're looking for, your clarity, your business idea will all come to you once you have that vision and mission statement. And I think in any business, it's so vital. Don't you agree?
I do. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
And I can see it in you as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. I know I said here the SpeakerTunity is poised to become a powerful force. That's what I've said. And not just because of all the resources, but it's because I see it as a hub at your fingertips. Was there anything you wanted to add? I've got 3 ways to get exposure. Maybe you could just unravel that a little bit.
So there are the 3 obviously are, you can find yourself speaking live and virtual, and our directories will help you on the speaking side. Then there are obviously the ways to speak on podcasts and radio shows and video casts, and that's another path. And then third is summits. And for when you're talking about booking yourself for speaking engagements, a speaker one sheet's important. The proposal letter that you write when you're sending yourself, proposing yourself, you should have some video, 3 to 5 minutes of video that illustrates how great you are on stage. And now that we're opening up back again, you'll be able to get some of that. All that's what makes up that package that you send when you're pitching yourself for a speaking engagement. When you're looking for radio shows and podcasts, you want to propose yourself using a pitch letter that is really descriptive of what you're bringing to the audience. It's going to improve their lives or change, or what's the great hook, they say, news hook. So that's, and then you can follow it, or either use as an alternative, or in concert, you can use a podcast introductory sheet. But when you get done with that, you also have to have a good media kit, because once you get booked, you need to be able to give that media kit over to the host so that they promote you appropriately. With virtual summits, you're trying to get on those stages. You're oftentimes submitting yourself online. And you have to fit the theme of that summit is. You don't want to give them your standard if it doesn't fit the theme. You need to tweak it so it fits the theme. And once you get booked there, you need to have a great free offer, which is really important, because otherwise you're going to waste that opportunity of getting all these people to opt in that are looking for the resources that you offer. So that's really critically important. And when you get ready to support that virtual summit, you have to do the quid pro quo of communicating with your community to get people to come to it, because otherwise you won't be invited back, and you want to get a great reputation, and you want all kinds of other people inviting you. So those are really the 3 avenues of visibility that are the most common today.
Getting serious about your visibility. That's what this says to me. Just winging it will get you just winging it results. But if you really want to spread your message, if you really want the world to hear what your vision and mission are, you really need SpeakerTunity. And I know that sounds like a commercial, but what Jackie just unpacked, and I know it can sound somewhat overwhelming, but rather than take it on ourselves, we need to look at the options that are available, because it really is getting serious about that part of your business. There are so many balls that an entrepreneur juggles. I'm sure you've experienced that, Jackie. My gosh, I mean, I know you do. You juggle so many balls. But a lot of times, if we can find the professionals that we resonate with, that we feel comfortable with, and investing in them so that we can get our return, what goes around comes around. And that's what the light bulb that just went on for me, Jackie, when you were talking. It's like, we need to invest in our visibility, to get serious, but not just try to do it all ourselves, because then, we stop, we start, and then there's something else that pulls us away. We need to focus on what we're good at, and then hand over what we don't to the experts who are good at that. So yeah, there is so much more to just picking a person here and there and hoping that you get visibility. So that just opened the door right up. And you make it easy for people. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And Jane, there's one other thing too. People can get and train a good virtual assistant to do this. I mean, that's really an important aspect of, you can go out and find somebody, or you can train somebody on your own team to do it, which is sometimes the better way to do it, because they know you've given them the materials, they're under your supervision. And there's a little bit of a nuance about this, but the most important one is, don't just hand things to people and let them run off. You really have to supervise. You have to check and see what they're doing. You have to give them some goals, some quotas of what you want to try to have them achieve on an everyday week. And you need to be really clear about what they're communicating, and how they're communicating, and who they're communicating it to. Which of the contacts do you want them to go after? But hiring a VA on your own team is a really good way to do that.
Thank you. That is great advice. You're absolutely right. There needs to be follow up and follow through. So that is really, really good advice. Standing out in a noisy world, how do you get noticed by the big guns in the industry? Now, there's lots of podcasters, there's lots of virtual summits. I don't know if there's a secret, but I just thought I'd throw it out there and see what you had to say, seeing as you've been in the industry and you know all the secrets, I think, to getting exposure.
So here's the one that I have experienced and had the most success with, and that is offer to do something for them. Be willing to promote them, show up at their events, for example, become, an attendee or perhaps part of their masterminds. When you do that, you're starting to build a relationship. When you are there for them, as opposed to wanting something from them without giving, then you are much less likely to see a response. But if they see that you're there to support them and to give to them, and you may be paid to be at their event or part of something, they're going to give you a lot more of their attention.
That is great advice. I hadn't thought of that, but absolutely offering them something and building that rapport and the connection. Was there any other last words that you'd like to share with our audience?
Just don't hide your light under a bushel. I mean, if you
Oh, I
have a
love
mission
that.
and a message, you have to be there, and because otherwise you're robbing the world of your gift, and the world needs your gift. So you need to make time. Now, one of the things I will tell you is, like you had said, Jane, the time is going to go by and you're going to say, well, I'll get some booking in this week. And it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen because you're going to be so busy on everything else that you're doing. So what you need to do is actually book time in your own calendar as if you were making an appointment with somebody else, and dedicate that time every week, 3 hours a week, just to booking. And you will find yourself getting an exponential boost and being in front of all kinds of clients that are going to drive your business.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So I wanted you to share with our audience your incredible offer.
So I would like to invite folks to come and take advantage of our 3 subscription products for 1 month free. And that means SpeakerTunity Speaker Leads, SpeakerTunity Radio Insider, and SpeakerTunity Summits. And you can come, you can try it out. If you like it, stick around. If you don't, opt out. You can try 1, 2, or 3. But it'll give you an idea. It'll tell you, is this something that's right for you? Or if you just want to stick around for a couple of months, there's no obligation to stay. We have an annual option, but hey, it's just easier if you want to sort of see where it goes, see if it fits for you. So for 1 month free, please go in there and take advantage of it. I would love to have you jump on that and just sort of become part of the SpeakerTunity family. And you are embraced and welcomed to join us.
Oh my gosh. Everybody needs to hop on this. This is so generous. And once you start to experience, and you can pay month to month as well, right, Jackie? You don't have to,
Absolutely.
if you wanted to opt in, it's not,
Yep.
right. If you decide to stick around or become part of the family of SpeakerTunity, it's not something that you have to commit to for a year. It's very flexible. It's a fabulous service, and I can't imagine that anybody who gives it a try isn't going to want to dive right in and take advantage of all the other assets that you need in order to, up your game and become one of the big guns, so that people are actually calling you, right? That would be the key. But thank you so much. I have one last question, Jackie, that I ask all of our guests here on the Epic Vision Zone. And that is, if your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Serial Pioneer.
Love it. It's you to a T. And I'd be really curious to read it as well. So once again, thank you so much, Jackie, for being here and sharing all your information, resources, and the fabulous offer that you are giving the audience members. Anyone and everybody who wants to check out all of the information and get in touch with Jackie and the offer, go to her bio. It will be in our Summit directory. All of the links will be there. You could also reach out to us if you have any questions. But please be sure to go and check that out and take advantage of it. And I wanted to thank you once again, Jackie, for joining us and that wealth of information that you've shared with us. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath, and check out how you can become an epic entrepreneur at janeapplegath.com. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dream into epic success. Congratulations for signing up for the Female Entrepreneur Revolution. We're bringing you some of the most exciting female entrepreneurs from around the globe to share with you their knowledge, their ideas, their inspiration, and more importantly, their resources to elevate you to prosperity and freedom. And by being here, you're on the cusp of something great, your epic future. I'm Jane Applegath, founder of the Epic Vision Zone and producer of the Female Entrepreneur Revolution. Be sure to get your VIP pass and join me after the summit on June 16th for a very special VIP coaching session where we'll have hot seating, summit Q&A, and a special guest appearance by one of our speakers just for you, where we'll ignite your vision, up-level your confidence, and set you on the path to your dreams' epic success. This is your opportunity calling. It's time to take action. Get your VIP pass now. I can't wait to see you on the other side.